2, 1, and the timer is going to be reset. There it is. Right away, you guys saw that the time got reset and the players are already acting on their code. Now, red team needs to start typing stuff if they want to catch up to blue right now, because blue is super ahead right now. Look at them; they're just already ahead. All right, not that far ahead, obviously. Obviously, not that far ahead. I'm just over exaggerating. But last we saw from red was that they were like collaborating on what they're gonna do. So on the blue team, they added their boilerplate. And can one of my mods give me confirmation that everything is okay on the red team side, just so we all have peace of mind? We should be aware and consider that they are on TeamSpeak right now, so they could be chatting it up right now. Woo! We got a donation from Teldrak.
Code.
$5. Viva la code, man. Viva la code. Let's code on. Code on. So what is happening on the red team? Can one of my mods let us know, because we're kind of left in the dark here right now. Alright, so in the meantime, I'm going to just review what the blue team has done. So blue team, they added their doc type, they added their HTML, I mean the standard stuff. They didn't add their head, they did forget that. Okay, so thank you, Kazin, for updating us. They are talking. I'm going to refresh C9, by the way, because that's what I need to do. So let me do that. And also what I'm going to have to do is resort this stuff out. There it is. Alright. So they were working the whole time, it just needed to be refreshed, no biggie. Cool beans, cool beans. Alright, nice. So let's go over. Everything's working great. It's cool stuff. So on the blue team, we don't have a head tag yet. They do have a canvas. That's pretty cool. That is a pretty cool tag right there. I think that's ideal for the objectives that we have here currently. We are at 200 viewers. Heck yeah. It's just going great. It's the most we've ever had. Season 2 is going, and it's going big, and we're just doing all kinds of different things now. And yeah, thank you guys. So stick around. Every Saturday we're gonna have DevWars, and every time you guys come back, we're gonna have new things for you guys. So all kinds of new updates, new things to look forward to all the time, especially for what we have to offer with DevBits. All right. So on the blue team, we simply have resets, as well as we're adding border box on everything, which is super handy in web dev projects. We don't see that on red team. They don't have any resets just yet. They do have background color on their body, which is, you know, interesting. Actually, both teams have black on their body. That's not interesting. That's ideal with the project. I mean, they have to have background. So we do have a lot of new viewers. While these guys are getting situated and stuff like that, I'm going to actually explain what is happening. So, and by the way, Rocker Boo, thanks for hosting us. So right now, you guys are watching DevWars, and we are a live game show, as you guys can tell. Hold on, we just got a donation. And Peterson.
I have donated $20 to you now, and I'm still not on the top donator list. Hashtag needs fame.
Thanks, N. Peterson, for that donation. We're going to definitely look into that. We definitely want to put you on the top donator list since you are a top donator. But wow, thanks for the donations. Hashtag donation train in the chat right now. All right, so DevWars is a live game show, as you guys can probably already tell. Right now, you guys are watching a 3v3. There's blue team and red team. Each player is representing their own language. So we have HTML, we have CSS, and JavaScript. Whatever language you are associated with, you can only code in that language. The only thing you can do with other languages is influence your teammates to make those changes that you need. So a lot of communication is involved in this game. Everything you see here is real time. We are going to review the websites live here on the screen and everything like that. So you guys are going to be able to see the progress. Another cool thing is we have a bunch of great tools for you guys to use during the show, so you guys can actually look at what the blue team's website looks like or what the red team's website looks like in your own browser by using watch red or watch blue command, or even watch code and see the code for yourself and scroll through it all you want. So welcome to DevWars, all our new viewers. Okay, so I'm actually gonna tab this one. Wait, maybe I don't need to. Let me refresh blue team and see if that fixes the problem where we're seeing the tab. There we go, it fixed it. Okay. So now you can see the selectors very well on the CSS. All kind of donations are coming in right now. That's awesome. A crap ton of JavaScript over here on the blue team. Now, the objectives here are somewhat JavaScript heavy. I mean, it's not intense JavaScript work by any means, but there is definitely some JavaScript knowledge there. Oh man, we got another donation. This is a big one.
I hope you remember me. P-Dudes, does your mom say get the code clean?
Thanks, Bandit Foley, for that $25 donation. You are awesome. We are going to definitely be able to update our C9 servers with that money for next week. You guys are awesome. Thanks for all the support. Huge props to that guy. We're going to add you on the top donator list. Hashtag donation train. Oh man, the love is just being poured out on top of DevWars right now. It's just all over our face, the love. Okay, so on blue team, we have the a lot of properties being added to that speed selector. So we got that speed ID. I wonder what that is going to be. It looks like it's going to be a button based off that tag, but based on the CSS, yeah, it's going to be a button. Yeah, that's what it looks like. Let's actually take a look at what the blue team's website looks like right now. We're going to, I mean, not very much to be honest, but I mean, you can kind of see what they're working on right now. So this is the blue team's website. You just got a black background with this click me button at the top left. It is position absolute, so it's always going to be up there exactly. I'm going to click it. Nothing happens. I mean, we're only 9 minutes into the game. I don't know what I was expecting, to be honest. Yeah, so we have a click me button. I'm interested to see what's going to happen. Ooh, the excitement. Okay, what about the red team? Let's see what the red team's website looks like. I actually see a big rocket ship. Wow. So we have a rocket ship on the red team. They are definitely... they picked a great rocket ship. I think it looks amazing. Despite its white edges that you can see. But anyways, let's get back to the code. I mean, not much to expect right now on the website, you know. I mean, they just got started here. So you guys can see the objectives up right above me. I'm going to read it out one more time for you guys, just maybe to clarify to some of you guys who don't understand what the objectives mean. So objective number 1, they need to make a black background with animated stars moving infinitely above that background. So they're going to essentially have like stars just moving in any direction. Doesn't specify in that objective which direction, but that's what that means. They already got half of that objective done, both blue and red. They got that black background color in there. I know it's just super hard to get that background color in. Objective number 2, they need to add a rocket ship. We saw that sexy rocket ship on red team, so blue team should be worried because I don't know if they're going to be able to top that. But anyways, they need to add a rocket ship with animated flames, red animated flames, and that's going to be coming out from under it. Objective number 3, they need to have click holding to the rocket ship that will increase the flame in size and make the stars move twice as fast. So click holding means when you click and hold, you know, like not just click, but as you hold on the click. And actually, I think the blue team might be confused on what that because they do have that click me button that should essentially be the rocket ship, not a separate button. Because it does say in objective number 3, you need to do that on the rocket ship. Objective number 4, you need to have allow mouse positions to have influence in the direction of the rocket ships. Well, the direction of travel for the rocket ship, rather. Okay, and then in yellow, we have the bonus objective. What that means is you have to complete all 4 objectives in order to achieve or get funded the points for the bonus objective. So, and that's 2 points. So bonus objective is worth 2 points, whereas the rest is worth 1. And that objective is create parallax by adding 2 more layers of animated stars of different sizes, with the smaller layers moving faster. So those are all the objectives. I just wanted to read it out loud for you guys in case some of you wanted that. So in the HTML, I mean, there is not that much stuff you can expect here unless, you know, HTML gets creative and they can add more elements that CSS can style. But generally, HTML and DevWars don't have much time. I mean, not that they don't have much time, but they have too much time because, like, you can only get so far in HTML, especially in a game like this with the kind of objectives we have. It's not so much of a standard website. It's kind of like a unique website, you know? It's like one of those cool websites that's different. But what HTML has to do generally in cases like this is they have to assume the role of a project manager. You know, they should utilize that extra time they have on their hands to decide what their next move is going to be for their team, and also, you know, having you know, putting all their time into refreshing their website constantly and finding out what's wrong with their website. You know, it's so that they can let their teammates know while they're hard at work what to do next. Okay, so I'm gonna skip the song. All right, on the blue team, they are currently, they have their selection is on that content. They have a fixed height on that content ID, which is essentially every single content on that site. As we can see here in the HTML, I'm going to highlight it. Yeah, so we have a defined height there, and the canvas is just 100% everything. That speed button has a hover attribute there, and that is just giving it different color on the text and a different background color as well. Cool, so that's HTML, CSS. There's a lot of stuff going on right now in the JavaScript for the blue team. So we have the X and Y variables set, and what he's working on right now, that function draw stars based off that. You can already tell that he's working on the objective number 4. I mean, to have your mouse position have influence. I'm very excited to see how that looks. We are a quarter way into the game. There's 45 minutes left on the clock. Let's take a look at red team now. Let's see what they're doing. So they have a instead of content, their main div is called app, and They have a star container inside of it, and that's gonna be most likely position fixed or absolute. We don't see any position over here. I actually think it's quite interesting how they have a defined amount of pixels for that div. I'd imagine they'd have to... Oh, I see. So that's for the actual star. Unless they're gonna make the width 100% and height for 100% and then just use the background as the stars. We'll see what they do with that. The JavaScript over here on Epinen's side, it definitely looks more legible. Not gonna lie, let's be honest here. It looks like you can actually read it and be like, oh, okay, I think I know what's going on here. Whereas Blue Team's on a whole nother level. Noob 2 Ninjas did play earlier in the last game in Zen Garden, and you could really tell that he knows his stuff in JavaScript. I mean, it looks like this is where he shines the most. All right, let's take a look at what Blue Team has on their actual website now. I'm gonna show you guys. So we have this click me button that has a hover me attribute. I'm gonna zoom out, and we have like this line. I wonder what that is. I'm gonna inspect the element. That might be added through. Man, I don't know what that is. Oh, here it is. It's a clip art of a rocket ship. I think. No, that can't be it. We'll just have to see what that is. That might be added through. It looks blurry, so I don't know if it's added through JavaScript or not. No, it's definitely not. Well, anyways, not much. If I click the button, nothing's happening there. I mean, we have to give the teams time to develop their website. Let's take a look at Red Team, however. They did change their rocket ship. I think that was a great move by them. We do have a fire already added there, and the fire has to be removed because, you know, the objective number 2 requires that it's animated. Now, the only thing I can imagine that they do is they take that into a text editor. I mean, not text editor, but in an image editor such as Photoshop, and actually remove the flame and add the flame through CSS, for instance. But they might not have Photoshop. They could even just simply find another rocket ship, or they could just add the fire animation on top of that static flame. It's up to them how they want to approach it. They could approach it in many ways. We do have those 2 stars. I mean, those stars are not what you might imagine for like a galaxy, you know. I mean, but I think it has a unique flavor to it. I mean, it is all about design, so I think it might look unique to have stars like that. You know, just it'll look different. It'll look different. But anyways, let's just go back to the code now. So on Red Team, they actually have a function to create stars. So, and yeah, they're using JavaScript to animate it and everything. All kinds of followers are just now pouring in. Thank you guys for the follows, and welcome to DevWars. Hopefully you are enjoying the stream. On CSS on the Blue Team, they're working on that background size at the moment for the rocket ship. Because we did see earlier, last we saw on the Blue Team's website, there was an image there that was kind of like oddly, it looked like just a line shooting across the screen, but what that line was actually the star. but they are being more specific on the background size. We're getting so many follows that I might as well turn off the Spotify music and just have the sound of the followers, the follower notification, be our music. That's how tempted I am with how many follows we're getting right now. So if you look at the blue team's HTML, you can see it's just super simple. Like there's not much to it, and there doesn't really need to be very much in the HTML. If we're being perfectly honest, by looking at the objectives, it doesn't require that you have, you know, very much stuff. But of course, adding more HTML, it doesn't hurt. I mean, it could even help your. It could even help you in the end when we open up the votes to the viewers, you know, for which team has the best design. That extra bit of content might give your site that flavor it needs. But let's see what they're actually using here. So they have a rocket ship. Are they okay, here we go. So we have a rocket, we got the body, we got the flames, and we got the flame big. Now I can see that actually being needed on the blue team's HTML. I have to say, blue team's HTML is slacking. Actually, they probably do need some more stuff, unless they do some magic on JavaScript. And it does look like a lot of magic's happening on JavaScript, but they are going to need stuff there. I know that you guys are being a bit annoyed by the follower notifications. We are going to, hopefully by next week, the best I can do is lower the volume on that. Actually, I can't even do it right now. I just have too many stuff open, but what we're going to do with the follower notifications, we're going to make them more subtle in the future. And Bo actually posted the code pen for the way our new notifications are going to look. By the way, all donations that we have received today are going right to the server. So we are in need of that money to use on our server, like upgrading our C9 and you know, paying monthly for our, you know, web hosts and stuff like that. So that's super awesome. Okay, so on the red team CSS, File Moon, he's the one handling CSS. It looks like he's working very quickly here. Look how fast he's selecting stuff and moving around. He is not wasting any time. We have some stuff commented out temporarily. Now, we have the rocket and we have the flame. I would show you guys the website, but the thing is that I know for a fact we're not going to see very much because the flame is, you can see the flame is disabled, the background and all this stuff. So we're going to wait for that to show itself. I mean, I do have the website even on my own browser, and I can tell you right now, there is not very much stuff. I am going to show you guys the blue team's website right now. I'm not sure if that's the flames. If those are flames, they look oddly strange, if I'm perfectly... Another donation, $20. Wow.
Very cool, y'all. Love the channel.
Heck yeah. So AJ Hurl, man, thanks for the $20 donation. You are the best. We're going to be adding all you guys to our top donator list on the channel because these are big donations you guys are giving. Appreciate it so very much. I wish I could hug each one of you. No donation train.
Who doesn't love badass servers? Buy something bigger with more money, less than 3.
Who doesn't? Who doesn't? Thanks for the donation, man. Alright, so. Alright, 36 minutes left on the clock. I just refreshed the blue team's website. We look like we're having some bit of issues here with the background size on the... Okay, now I just refreshed it. It looks fine now. Are those supposed to be the flames? I think those flames look kind of interesting, doesn't it? Let's see here. What if we did background size 100% or cover? I'm changing it right now on the inspect element. So I'm gonna show you guys. I just simply changed that to cover. And if we hover over this, we can see the image they're using. That is the full image. Yeah, that flame looks weird. I know what they're trying to do. They're trying to, yeah, they're using it as sprites, but the flames itself look kind of like strange. But I think it might fit with the rocket ship they're using. If we look over at the red team's website, It's just a star. I mean, a lot more going up. I lied. Nice. We have the, I wonder if they actually took that into Photoshop. Yeah, I think they did because it's from a different URL now. So they actually took that flame out, they cropped it out, took it in a separate image file, and now they have it separated. That's beautiful. I love it. Now, it looks like they're using an image for the flame, but they could totally, you know, generate that in CSS or JavaScript, but it's whatever they want to do. They could probably even like alter the image to make it look like it's moving around and stuff. A lot of different ways to you know, go about it. Let's go back to the code. 34 minutes left on the clock. We're nearly halfway into the game here. So we're working on the flame right now. Yeah, on the blue team CSS, we're working on that flame, adding some transform to it, and they're rotating at 180 degrees on the Z. I don't know if he's preparing it for the objective number 4 or if he's working on the animation. Let's see if he has any animation going on in the CSS. No, not too much CSS over here, but what about the JavaScript? We have random stars on load. We're working on that function right now in the JavaScript. What else do we have? We have random stars and we have math in here. That's insane. And the majority of the work here on JavaScript, Noob2Ninjas is doing a great job handling the function for draw stars. Cool stuff. On the red team, we do see this comment here. Epinence is feeling a bit discouraged with being on JavaScript. If you guys know or watched season 1 of DevWars, which is like 4 or 5 months ago, you would know that Epinence really shines on CSS, so it is a bit unfortunate to see him on the JavaScript role, which means that he is almost, it's almost like he's on the bench based on, you know, the past history. But I believe Epinence has a perfect winning streak. Like, he's won every single game he's played on, and hopefully the fact that he's on JavaScript doesn't, you know, ruin that streak for him. I mean, I don't think so, because looking at red team, it looks like they are doing such a great job. I think they're, I mean, actually, if we compare both blue and red, I'd say they are both about even. It's actually pretty crazy to see how close they are with one another. I'm actually going to show you guys. Let's look at blue team. You can see they have a star right there. They even have their rocket ship and their flames position where they need it. And if we go to the red team, we see the same thing. We see a star, we see the rocket ship, and we have the flame position where we need it as well. So, I mean, it's pretty surprising to see how on time both teams are. I do want to remind everybody here who may not know, we do have commands for, we have watch red and watch blue. So if you type that command in the chat, we already see people typing that in right now. So at your convenience, you could just simply click those links and look at the websites in your own browser. But yeah, so I mean, we just saw that flame get tucked up there a little more to make it look more realistic. Let's go back to the code now. Oh man, I have to show you guys this right now live. Blue team has stars being generated randomly. Next, they need to make it animate. They need to make it move in a direction. I think it's cool how they have the stars generating. I think it might be cool for it to generate like at like the moment it loads, but for it to constantly generate, it could be good, it could be bad. We'll see where they're going with it, but the fact that they're using JavaScript to generate the stars is pretty amazing. another way they could have went about it is they actually could have probably found a repeating pattern image on Google and just added that to the background. Well, created a div for stars and just added that on the background, you know, with 100% whatever, and just had it repeat. So that is another way they could have went about it, but that's boring stuff. Oh my gosh, the donation train is too real. Sofa King, great, donated $25. Thank you so much for the love that you guys have been expressing here today on DevWars Season 2. It's been amazing. We're going to add you on the top donator list, my friend. I really wish you would have added a donation message for the stream to see, because we would have loved to see that. Hashtag donation train, boys and girls. 29 minutes left on the clock. 25 minutes left on the clock. We're more than halfway into the game. It wouldn't be animated stars then. Well, animated, you can still have it animated if you move it. Like, you know, you can have it animate on a translate, like, you know, so that it constantly moves upwards. So if the background pattern is exactly 100 pixels tall, then you would just have the it animate 100 pixels up and then repeat that forever. So that's where it would be animated. Okay, so we have an animate start. I'm currently looking at JavaScript on the blue team. New2 Ninjas has a function open for animate star, so that suggests that he is going to work on that function for moving, you know, the stars in a direction. But at the moment, it doesn't look like he's working on it. Let's see what he's working on right now. Yeah. Okay, so his selector is on the animate star. So he's probably, who knows, maybe he's talking to his teammate right now. Not much happening on the HTML for blue team. I mean, I talked about this earlier. HTML is a pretty unique role in a sense that, you know, once you get your HTML in there, it's like, man, you know, they can probably feel like as if they have nothing else to do, but that is not true. HTML still can take advantage of this downtime, you know, with coding HTML by actually being the guy to, you know, constantly refresh the website and letting their teammates know what is wrong, and also, you know, guiding them in the right direction on what they need to do next or what they need to be on top of, as well as, I mean, they straight up need to be the project manager in this case. So I just got word that Red Team got their animation going. Well, actually, they didn't get it going, but they're working on it right now. I think that's what he meant to say. But, okay, actually, right now, we see more HTML being added right now onto the blue team. Rocket container, so they're just going to wrap up all the Rocket content into that container. I think that's a great idea. So that way they have control over the entire rocket ship. And they're going to need to do that in order for the objective number 4 to work, because, you know, JavaScript's going to need to be able to target that entire div. Right now, both blue and red are in TeamSpeak, so they are chatting with one another. Every single player that you see playing right now is in TeamSpeak, and they each have their own microphone. And if you guys actually want to listen to them, you are more than welcome to join our TeamSpeak. I don't know if it is full or not. If you are able to get in, you are extremely lucky, but since we have quite a bit of donations today, we are going to be able to upgrade our TeamSpeak server to the next plan, which is probably 50 users. And we're just going to upgrade as we go. Currently, only 25 users are allowed to join that channel. Epinance, despite his, you know, discouragement we saw in his comment up here, I think he's doing very well. Let's take a look. Ooh, let's take a look at Red Team right now. And the reason why I got excited there is because you can see, I'm going to refresh right now. You can see that the star is, look at that. Oh, whoa! They all kind of collected right there. But you can see Epinence is definitely playing around with the code right there. They're all kind of gravitating towards that point right there. But stuff is definitely happening here on the red team. What about the blue team? What's going on over here? Let's refresh the blue team. Okay, so we have the stars, you know, being added a bit more rapidly, it looks like, from what I noticed before. But I think the flame is centered better and positioned better than it was before. I'm going to click this button, see if it does anything. It doesn't do anything. What about clicking the rocket ship? Nothing yet. So we're just going to have to wait and see what's going to happen in the next 24 minutes. But let's get back over to the code. Very interesting stuff happening. Sick animations, heck yeah. We have float on the speed. There's so many different ways you could approach, you know, just the way you target properties or decide the way you want to position, you know, tags and stuff on your website. You got float, you got position, you got display, you got display inline block, you got display flex if you're not afraid to flex box. Alright, so wow, I mean, both teams are just, you got to give props to both of these teams. I mean, I feel like the teams are so well balanced that that's why we're getting such a good show right now, because if you refresh blue and red's website, it's like as if they're on the same, they're working on the same exact thing at the same exact time. I'm curious to see when they're going to get that flame working. What is red team working on? So we still see a background image commented out right here for that rocket class, which actually is fine because that's just the container that we saw a blue team add quite recently here, the rocket container. So I have to be honest, I like the way red team structured their HTML. It looks quite nice. That's not to say blue team didn't do a good job. I mean, blue team's keeping it very simple, which is fine. Oh, okay. It looks like he's actually reworking his thing right now. I was actually gonna say, no lie, I was actually gonna say that I think that the flame should be separate and not be a sibling inside of the rocket class, but he just changed that right now, and I think that's a great idea. I think it looks a lot better that way, and you have more control over it. So how about we refresh blue team's website and see what they have going on. So looks like they went with a different style on the stars, and that, yeah, I think it is a different style. I'm not just tripping here. I think they inverted it. Let me know if I'm tripping. And also the rocket should be above the stars, at least in my opinion. And that's a simple fix. All they need to do is specify that the rocket ship has a higher Z index than the stars, which honestly all they have to do is set the rocket. They just need to set the rocket Z index to like 2 or something, and that should do the trick. Still no animating on the stars as far as movement. Actually, the objective number 1 doesn't specify that it has to move, so they are not going to get penalized for not moving their stars. Yeah, because it doesn't specify which direction, that it has to be in a direction. We are at 263 viewers. Hashtag hype right now in the chat. Can we get 300 viewers? It's up to you guys to make that happen. But yeah, so this click button doesn't do anything. I'm going to refresh the site to see if they did fix that Z-index while we were... No, they didn't. That's fine. Let's take a look at red team now. I'm going to refresh... Okay, this is red team's website. So we still have these stars all kind of gravitating. Oh, well, it looks like we have 2 different gravitating points this time. Yeah, and it looks like it's kind of random. Yeah. Yeah, the points are being random, which is good. You want it to be random. Yeah, I thought they would do white dots too, but I mean, it's up to them in the end what they want to do. I mean, the stars they picked out here on the red team aren't you know, realistic, but I kind of like the way it looks with the rocket. I feel like the color complements the rocket ship, and I don't know, it just it might look good. In my opinion, maybe they could probably lower the size of the star, but in the end, it's up to them what they want to do. I'm going to go back over to the code. So blue team's still keeping it. This song is not appropriate for this song. It's just really, well, actually it was somewhat appropriate. Like, it was like we were in outer space. I mean, if outer space had music, that's probably what it would have played. So I guess it was appropriate. My bad for switching the song. We just need something else. How's the music volume, guys? Should I turn it up a little more? Should I turn it, or should I leave it? Let me know in the chat. Alright, so yeah, blue team just keeping it simple on that HTML. Like, the JavaScript is just insane on the blue team. You guys did see earlier, Noob2 Ninjas, who is handling JavaScript, did play in the last game, and wow, like, okay, you guys want me to turn it up? Alright, for sure, I'll turn it up. I turned it up a little more. Okay, cool. Man, that... If we go over to the blue team's website right now, look at that rocket ship. It is just getting buried on those stars. Let me refresh right now. Hopefully they just simply added the Z index. Oh, the stars aren't even showing right now. Let's click this. Let's click the button and see if that'll make it show. Maybe that's what they're getting ready to do. Let's look at the red team right now. Okay, so the stars are doing, they are acting a bit differently. It looks like they're going a bit slower. If I, here, let's see. If I click the rocket ship, does it make it go faster? No, not at the moment. Right now, for those of you guys who are viewing, please let us know, because we do have a pretty good amount of viewers here today. We are very happy to see the amount of interest that we are finding here on DevWars, which is awesome. But let us know in the chat how you found out about DevWars so that we know where you guys came from. Oh, I thought for a second on the red team's website they animated their flames. Alright, let's look at the red team's CSS. What are they working on? I see a selector right here, FileMoon selector, on right here on the rocket ship. So most likely just communicating right now, nothing actually being added in the CSS. Epinence is doing a good job. I'm going to turn down the volume just slightly. I know, turn down for what? Just slightly. Look at the selectors here on blue team. Take a look at that. So they're using CSS to their advantage. It looks like what they might be doing here is just appending the class through JavaScript. So I think this is pretty smart. So they have slower, slow, fast, and faster. So they're using specificity to their advantage. So we have, if they append, if the rocket container has the slower class appended to it, then the flame inside of that class will in turn have that background position. Man, that's awesome. I like what they did there. That's smart. So all they have to do in JavaScript is get the classes to interchange there, and it would be very sexy. You know, oh, take a look at that. On the HTML right now, they are adding that slower class that we were just looking at not too long ago. And I think they're testing it out right now to see what that's going to do. And so the way Blue Team set up their website is, or their Flame rather, is if you look at their code, they're playing around with the background position, and the reason why they're doing that is because they have like a flame image that they're using as if it was a sprite. Actually, it is a sprite, but the idea behind it of simply using one image and just, you know, moving the position around. Thanks for subscribing to our subreddit. We do appreciate it. I do notice some of you guys mentioning that you've subbed to it, so that's double thumbs up to that. The song is Too Haunted. Too Haunted for me. 14 minutes left on the clock, guys. What are they going to do in this amount of time? The hype is real. Hopefully for those of you guys who betted, you are feeling... Hopefully you betted for the right team. Let us know in the chat if you are worried about the bet you've placed, or if you're feeling confident in you know, the bet you've placed before the game started. Man, this is a great game because both teams are just staying on top of it. This is the last game for today, but we're going to have DevWars every single Saturday, and we also have plenty of pre-recorded videos of DevWars from last season on our YouTube channel, youtube.com/DevWars. So that way you guys, you know, can be occupied during that time while you're waiting. No excuse. No excuse. Okay. So if we look at the CSS on Red Team, it looks like they're taking a very similar approach to the way Red Team handled it in their CSS, as we reviewed earlier, all this stuff. Drop the beats, drop the beats. Alright. Now, the difference here is they don't actually need to specify that it's, for example, position absolute, because that was already declared on the Flames class. So since they're just appending a class called Big to that Flames class, you know, it's going to inherit the Flames above it. So just a heads up, we do want to educate you guys on the stream as well. If you guys have any questions, this is a great time to ask. I mean, we have a bunch of web developers in the chat right now just hanging out, so I'm sure they'll notice your question and get to it, and maybe if I catch it, I'll definitely answer it as well. Okay, so right now in the JavaScript, Noob2Ninjas is working on the I just saw him playing around with the animate star function. It's been a while since we checked out the website. I think it's safe to say we should refresh the Blue Team's website and take a look at that. So we are switching scenes right now. Let's click this button, see if it does anything. Nothing's happening. What about the rocket ship? Nothing's happening. I think we just caught the website at a bad time, most likely. You know what? I'm actually going to bring up the inspector real quick, and let's do something here. So we have a class called Slower. What would happen if I added Fast to it? What about Faster? Okay, I'm not noticing too many of things yet. Too many. I do want to see those flames get animated here shortly. I mean, hopefully that happens. What about the red team? Let's take a look at them, see what they're doing. Bam! Let's refresh their website. So they got their rocket ship perfectly centered. I think that's great. It looks good. It looks good. The stars probably could use some work. I mean, it's not the best setup that they have for the way the stars are being drawn and stuff. So I just got word from someone in the chat to click the ship on red, and I'm going to. Whoa! Okay, hang on. What happened there? I'm going to refresh. Let me just click it once, I guess. Okay, so we got the bigger flame. Nice. So you got something there. The flame isn't animated though. It does need to do like, it does need to have some sort of animation. But yeah, so that's the code there. Let's get back, I mean that's the website there. Let's get back to the code. Yeah, they need to animate those flames. We just saw the JavaScript being highlighted there. Definitely caught my attention. What if he was just trying to get me to look? I doubt it, but man, you can definitely tell he knows the stuff there. Not very much CSS on the blue team, actually. Actually, I would say we might have just about the same amount between blue and red. So okay, so he is working on the star container. Last I saw activity there. The HTML is just, you know, it's been stagnant throughout the game. They do get 60 minutes to code the website, and we are at 8 minutes now, so not very much time at all. Check this out, guys. Epinance just added the growth flames function, so hype train for the for the red team. I gotta be careful here not to specify the wrong team, but they are going to animate the flame. That's what we are suggesting here by the name of that function and by just, yeah, he's totally gonna animate it. So he has 7 minutes to do so. I can't wait to see it working. What about the blue team? Are they gonna animate the flames anytime soon? I don't see any functions open or stated. Yeah, so they might be too busy working on other stuff right now. What are dev bits? Dev bits are a currency that we provide on DevWars. It's just a fun way to earn dev bits by just watching the show. You can earn it by completing badges on our website. You can there's all kinds of ways to get objectives, as well as, you know, not objectives but dev bits. And we're gonna have different ways of spending dev bits in the future as well. So I had the red team's website kind of just open for a while, and it kind of lagged out because of the I think the stars are getting generated so much to where it's really killing my. Yeah, they probably got to do something about that before my internet dies. It's not liking it. My Chrome, like, it's very close to crashing. Can one of my mods actually... man, I don't want them to spend time working on something like that. We have 5 minutes anyways. We're just gonna have to go... We're just gonna have to man it up and go through this. Let's refresh the blue team's website. Let's have a look at that. So we do see those stars back again. That's good. We did see that absent for quite a while. Let's click that click me button. Does anything happen? Not yet. Still no animating on the flames. Okay, let's look at red team. So the rocket ship isn't like centered the way. Actually, I have to open the inspect element. That's what it is. Yeah, so there it is. Stars are still kind of awkwardly gravitating towards the bottom there in that center point. There's a crap ton of errors on the, take a look at that. Look at all these errors that are just accumulating right now in the JavaScript. If I look at the console, this is kind of, I'm going to just show you guys what we're getting here. Yeah, we're probably going to have to upgrade our C9 after today. It's pretty intense. Let's get back to the code. We have 3 minutes left on the clock. Dude, the websites are just killing my Chrome browser right now. Let's see what they're working on. And we do have 3 minutes. Mods, please remind the both teams that we have 3 minutes left on the clock. They need to be very mindful of the clock right now because they don't want to spend too much time working on other things. Or else they could get themselves in a bit of trouble. Oh man, the website is just... Moderators, oh man, I don't even know what to do right now. Like, it's just intense right now. I can't even see the chat. That's how bad it is. Thank you for the follow. 2 minutes and 30 seconds left on the clock. Mega Jinx, thanks for the, not Jinx, but Jix. Thanks for the follow. 2 minutes left on the clock. Not a lot of time. What are they going to be able to accomplish in that amount of time? Now, what I need to let you guys know is that if they forget, like, something as small as a semicolon or something like apostrophe or anything, or forget to close the tag, they're just going to have to take the hit for it because once the clock is over, which is going to be in 2 minutes, the documents are going to be shut down and they cannot make any changes. That's why it's advised that they spend this time fixing stuff rather than adding stuff. Unless they are feeling very darish. Oh man. Oh man, but the amount of stars that are just accumulating right now is just too much for me. I'm trying to close out of the browser for that red team, but it's not doing it. Pidu, thanks for the follow. 1 minute left on the clock. 1 minute. I'm not going to show you guys the website yet. It's going to just be 1 more minute until you guys can actually see it. I'm going to see if I can get the chat reopened so I can see what you guys are saying in the meantime. But 50 seconds left on the clock. During this time, please look at your own browser for the website. I think I'm going to have to... $20 seconds left on the clock. 20 seconds. 15 seconds. I'm going to do a 10-second countdown. Mods, countdown with me. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, and 1. It is over, guys. Game over. GG. I'm excited to see what the teams have done. Okay, so whatever they have is what they have, and I just refreshed the website, so I'm actually really excited to go over this because there is a lot that's been added. Keep in mind that I'm not going to be able to see your guys' chat, so whatever questions you guys have, I'm not going to be able to see it, but my moderators are watching the chat, so don't feel like we're not seeing anything. But yeah, so let's go over Blue Team's website first. We are going to be voting on design, so once I go over the objectives, we're going to be looking at that, but just keep that in mind as we're going over the site. But whoever's on the mod panel, please watch and keep up with me as I tell you which objectives they completed. So objective number 1, they need to add a black background with animated stars moving infinitely above it. They did complete that, so go ahead and give Blue Team a point for objective number 1. What else? Add a rocket ship with red animated flames coming out from under it. Now, I'm going to go ahead and click this click me button, see if anything happens. Or the rocket ship. I don't see the flame animated, so unfortunately they're not going to get the point for that. Click holding the rocket ship will increase the flames in size. I mean, I'm click holding the rocket ship right now. I'm even clicking this button and holding it. It's not doing anything, so they're not going to get the point for objective number 3. Objective number 4, allow your mouse position to have influence on the rocket ship's direction of travel. You know, I'm moving my mouse around. I'm not getting any influence. You know, nothing's really happening, so that's it there. And I'm not even going to read the bonus objective because they did not complete all 4 objectives, therefore rendering them unqualified to earn that point. So they have 1 point on the objectives. Now let's take a look at the red team right now. We're moving gears over to the red team. So on the red team, objective number 1, make a black background with animated stars moving infinitely above it. They do get the point for that. Add a rocket ship with red animated flames coming out from under it. Okay, the flames are there. I'm going to go ahead and just click and hold and see what happens. Okay, so the flames did change when I clicked. Okay, click holding the rocket ship will increase the frame. Yeah, let's give them a point for that. Allow your mouse position to have influence on the rocket ship's direction of travel. That is working. They do get a point for that as well. And then parallax, they did not get that. So they're not going to get the bonus objective. They do have 4 points there. Now it's not over, because we are going to have the votes open for design and functionality. So let's start back over at the Blue Team's website. So on the Blue Team's website, I don't even think you guys, were you guys able to see the, here, I'm going to go over Red Team's website one more time though, just to make sure you guys have it. Oh my gosh. It's only because the, yeah, I'm not going to be able to show you guys. It's because the Google Chrome has just been freaking like overloaded. But anyways, this is where you open it in your own browsers. It's watch red or watch blue, but we're going to be voting on design right now. Let's open up that design vote poll right now. And in order to vote, all you have to do is type red or blue in the chat, of course with the exclamation point in front of it. So let's go ahead and open up the design vote. There it is. So vote blue or red right now in the chat. And that is going to be working for 2 minutes. I see votes coming in right now. The way the vote works, it's super awesome. There's like a threshold where if it crosses there, the team actually gets 2 points. You know, whereas if it doesn't, then the points get distributed. But the most amount of points you can actually earn is 2 points. A lot of votes coming in on that red. In the meantime, I'm gonna see if I can actually, you know, fix the issue we were having while the votes are coming in. Yeah. Yeah, so Chrome just, we're just gonna leave it. We're just gonna leave it. There's, oh, hey, cool. I think we're fine. Yeah, we're fine, okay. It reloaded, and that was for the best. Okay, so it looks like design won for, red won for design, so that's 2 points for them. Now next we're gonna be voting on functionality. Okay, so the way functionality is going to work is which team essentially had better JavaScript, really, or which site do you feel like functioned better? I mean, use your own words. We don't have like regulations on how you vote that way, but we're just suggesting that you look at their JavaScript and consider user experience. So go ahead and start the vote for functionality right now after that's over. So once you see the functionality vote open, go ahead and do the same thing. It's there it is. It's blue or red. I think now red team should work when I go over to it. There it is. So this is red team's website. We are getting the rocket ship moving around. And if we switch back over to the blue website, this is what we have for the blue website. It looks like it's pretty obvious here who won. Too many votes are coming in on the red team. I mean, it was a very close game though. I mean, we've seen like, you know, how close they were as they were working. It was just for the blue team. For the blue team, it was just not enough time, it seems. But yeah, so it looks like red team is the winner. They got every single amount, like they got all the objectives except for the bonus objective, and they won both design and functionality. So they almost aced the objectives. They would have earned more XP if they were able to fit that bonus objective, but nevertheless, congratulations, red team, for winning. Let's go over to the score page and just recap what we've seen here. So yeah, red team is the winner. You can see the stats here. I mean, it was a close game. It was just those objectives really hurt blue team there big time.